We start with the next numerical. Six ohm. I think we have discussed some long back. Okay, but once again, I'm putting the same numerical. Okay, these are the two diodes. Multiple circuits are there. Possibility of asking, I'm not saying very important. Possibility there to be on safer side. Let's have an idea because one diode we discussed. So let me bring more than one diode. Okay, now is asking the which diode will be on and off. Find the diode. Find the diodes that are on and off. Suitable table not there. I'm trying to adjust. Writing is becoming problem. Scribbling. Okay, now what to do here now? Let's assume that both the diodes are forward biased and we'll check the current through the diode. I'll assume this diode D1 forward bias. Both the diodes are forward biased here. No. Okay, and let the loop current be I1. Or straight away, branch currents will take it. Huh? It'll be much easier, no? This I1, this I2. Let this be I3. This will be positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, there's no any resistance. So let's write the loop equation. So plus 10 minus 4 I1 minus 6 I3 equal to 0. Then 3 minus 6 I3 0. Solve this, we'll get I3. So if you substitute I3, you'll get I1. Then I1 plus I2 equal to I3. So I3 equal to 0.5 ampere. Substituting that, 10 minus 6 I3. So 6 by 2. So 3 it will be. So I1 is equal to 337 by 4 ampere. Substitute this. So 7 by 4 plus I2, 1 by 2. Anybody value?
5 by 4.
5 by
4, sir.
5 by 4. Huh? Okay, both I got positive. Huh? Okay, how from current we can say that diodes are forward biased or reverse biased. Okay, let's do one thing. If a diode is forward biased, if a diode is forward biased, how the current will enter? Will enter into P type. I2 negative. Huh? Somebody is saying I2 negative. How come? 7 by 4, 1, 1, 1.
Sir, that is 1 by 2 minus
2 will
7.
be negative, sir.
I2 is negative. 1 by 2 minus 7 by 4. 1 by 2 minus 1. So this will be minus 5 by 4. Huh?
Sir.
Okay, this is positive. Current is positive. I'll write it. Okay, now look at this one. if a for a diode, current enters and if a current flows like this. So this what happens in forward bias. Am I right? And this is what happens in the reverse bias. This is very important. So from numericals what happened, we can conclude like this here. Looking at the forward bias, reverse bias. If a current enters p-type, if the current enters p-type, it should be forward bias. Current leaves p-type or current enters n-type, it should be reverse bias. So this is in fact reverse bias here. Reverse bias means, so what is D2? D2 will be off. What is our actual circuit? Actual circuit will be like this. Okay, no, got this, this one. So like this, we can say diodes on and off that one. Yeah. So I think we don't have much discussion of such things in books, no possibility of asking. That's why I just picked up. You do one thing, change voltages. So I took 10 volt and 3 volt. No, you make it this 6 volt and check it what will happen. There's no any like a sort of this one. It just it's a method. Okay, no, is it diode D1 really forward biased? Let's check the flow of current. What is I is equal to 1 ampere. The current is in fact flowing no through the circuit, through the branch. The current, it is in fact will flow. It is as good as this battery is not into the picture. It will not have any role. The current will flow. In fact, this will be forward biased. So this is a reverse bias in the sense I'm just remove like a no current will flow in this region. I'll take the next condition. Oh. -3 volt, 6 ohm, D2, there's a D1, there's a 12 ohm, there's a +3 volt. I check whether the diode D1, D2 are forward biased or reverse biased. Find the diodes D1 and D2 forward bias or reverse biased. Okay, the same circuit. So first what we'll assume that is, let the diodes be, or so if you may find little bit difficult in assuming sir why short circuit and all, the same circuit. Let's assume that the diodes are forward bias and let's calculate the flow of current through it. Current enters p-type, then it should be forward bias. Current leaves, so it should be the reverse bias. There's the condition. No? So I'll start like this. So let the current be I1. Let this be I2. Let this be I3. Without solving, how you can tell? You're supposed to work out, no? You should not make a guess. Follow the procedure and you are supposed to tell, no?
That is short circuit, na, sir. Directly you can say total current will pass through.
But, so no guess. I can give a problem where if you guess, you'll go wrong.
In this problem, sir. In this problem, directly you can say.
Okay. Yeah, that's one. Okay. 3. Okay, this will be plus minus. Okay, 3 minus 12I1 equal to 0. I'm writing loop equation for this part. Okay, this one. I'm assuming like this. Okay, then we'll get the I1. So I1 will be 3 by 12, 1 by 4 ampere. Then I know I1. Then again, I'll write the loop equation. So this will be 3 minus 12 I1 minus 6 I2 minus of minus 3 equal to 0. So 3 minus 12 I1. 12 I1 is what equal to 3, no? I2 equal to 1 by 2 ampere. Then according to this, I1 plus I3 equal to I2. So I1 is 1 by 4. I3 we don't know. I2 is 1 by 2. I3 I got 1 by 4 ampere. What do you say? Is it a forward or reverse biased? What shall we conclude? I1 I got it. That's what I'm telling this one. Better to let's take help of our KCL, KVL will be on safer side. That's what I believe. Okay, now you say this. Ampere. I3 equal to 1 by 4 ampere. Now, what is it? Looking at this, the D1 is okay. No. Here, no. Looking at I3. What about I2? I2 we got positive, no? So I2 is positive. So therefore, with this, what we can conclude, D2 is forward biased. What about D1? Reverse biased. Then what you should do? Do the method. After putting this reverse bias, come for again. This is what actually happens in the circuit. Because actually, if you go for first approximation, but practically what will happen? This I3, let it be this one. Even in a reverse bias, a current will flow, and that current we are telling to be negative. Negative in the sense, here practically if you go for it, no, so it will be like a open circuit. So then this will be the actual circuit that occurs. So what is I is equal to? Now I is equal to, it will be 3 minus of minus 3. I'm directly writing 6 by 18, 1 by 3 ampere. This is the reading of your ammeter. But sir, 1/4 is what? Negative. It's a negative, that negative in the sense, if you go for approximation, the account of the first approximation, the diode reverse bias should be open circuit, then this is what we do it. If they give reverse bias, resistance, anything that you have to substitute, then you have to further solve. Most of problems, let's confine for the first convention, that reverse bias open circuit, forward bias short circuit. Okay, I think now don't make guess of something in the circuit. That's what I suggest you. Look at the current from the this only what happened. We should conclude whether the forward bias or reverse bias. That's what I feel. Previous also I solved a few. Check it once. Let me the next one. And this may possibility of asking this question, because this is there in the logic gates. Questions of like this will be there in the logic gates. Is asking what is the state of diodes D1 and D2. I'll give forward voltage of the diodes. Let it be 0.5 volt. Find the state of diodes. I'll continue like this. So let this be the, but I think so this may not be that difficult. Can be asked in exam. Be careful. We don't have anything questions like this in the books, but I'm guessing possibility, because such circuits, where do you come across in logic circuits? Can you remember? Or AND gate, OR gate. Logical AND gate. So nothing wrong in asking such questions. Okay, let me write the loop equation. So I'll assume let the current be the, in the circuit, let it be I. And this be I1. So then this will be positive. I'll change it. So let it be like this. I1, I2. Let's write loop equation plus I, plus 1 minus 2I minus of minus 3 equal to 0. Forward voltage. Let me, we'll do one thing. I just forgot. Is that okay? This one, this will be, no, this will become VF. Minus VF minus 2I minus of minus 3 equal to 0. 1 minus 0.5, 2i plus 3. So this should be equal to 4 minus 3.5 by 2. But what to say about I1, I2? We don't know. No, we are supposed to calculate I1, I2. So therefore, what I do is like let me call this as point P. Now let me write Vp minus 2i minus of minus 3 equal to 0. Vp. So 2i is how much? 3.5 plus 3. So Vp is equal to how much? Vp is equal to 0.5 volt. Then, so what is the potential difference? Look at this. This P is N type, no? P, there's a point P is what we assumed it. So when you can say that when when P is more positive, okay, that symbol P, I'll write it A. This will be, no. I'll change symbol. Okay, no problem. I change symbol. Look at now here. If P is more positive than N by 0.5, it is said to be forward biased. And look at this one. So how much it is? 0.5, and this is 3 volt, no? So definitely it is forward biased. So both D1 and D2 are on. Getting the idea? This one. Practically what will happen, what actually practical happens, this particular diode will have some forward resistance. So if you connect one ammeter here, it will show some deflection. Here, since we are talking about ideal, no, we are just taking that to be I1 and I2. Okay, let's not bother about that one. So there's a one way of testing you questions here. You just calculate the potential difference across the diode and check it. If P is more positive than N, then it should be forward bias. How much it should be more? It should be more by 0.5, no? Because forward bias he has given 0.5. The new voltage is given. If it was 0.4, then unbiased. If the potential difference this is 0.4, it will be unbiased. Equal to greater than or equal to 0.5, then we can see it is said to be forward bias here. I just picked up the logic gates because there we study only theoretically. I just made one problem so that you can, okay, same. Okay, we'll take the 3 diodes. One last problem. Diode D1, D2, D3. This is 3 volt, 2 volt, 1 volt, 10 ohm, 5 volt. No. Some of you ask like this. Okay, what you did, sir? Like you did like this, no? Okay, what I will write in this way. Or some students what happen? So what's wrong? Why you are looking at only this branch? Why not this branch? Okay, let's see. In that case, what will happen? 3 volt minus VF. Nothing wrong. Okay, this will be 2i dash. You call it minus of minus 3 equal to 0. So 3 minus 0.5 2i dash plus 3. I dash is equal to 5.5 by 2. Now who is correct? Okay, let it be. No, we'll calculate again the VA, that one. In this case, VA dash minus 2i minus of minus 3 equal to 0. So VA dash 2i will be 5.5 plus 3. Look at VA dash. VA dash is how much? 2.5 volt. Now you should answer.
Both forward bias is more favorable.
I'm not getting. The point A is the A dash only. That only, I'm just calling it as A dash in this case. So earlier it was 0.5. Okay, something we got answer, we concluded. But what about here? No, 2.5 volt is what I'm writing. So 2.5 volt means N is more
This we
positive
are
than P.
getting one reverse bias now, sir. In the first case, we are getting two forward bias. So first one is more favorable.
Favorable. How do you
I
can
mean,
say
that
favorable?
will only happen because
Anybody wants to share the idea further? No concept. We should go back to the current city concept only here. See, what is this? How these two branches are parallel, no? In a parallel circuit, what will happen is like the potential difference, which is the minimum that will be forced on the other branch. Of course, we didn't discuss such things in current city, but the concept of that one. This having 1 volt, so potential difference 0.5. Now 3.3 volt. Now if you look at this one, here what is the potential difference? We'll get it here. 1 volt and this is 2.5. So how much we are getting? This is more negative than, this is more positive than this one. Here what will happen? There's no problem. The potential difference is 0.5. 0.5 and here what you're telling, it is minus 2.5. Oh, sorry, minus 1.5. So which one has to be taken? So I think I'll put it in simple way. You have one potential difference. What will be forced here? What will happen to the conditions? If they're parallel, of course, some resistor we were able to do. So here what happens, this will be forced. This value will be forced on this one. So this is what actually happens. Even in this case, we may think there's a reverse bias, there's a forward bias. Looking at this one, I just wrote loop equation. We got one value of A. If I write loop equation, we get one value of A. Then, sir, which one first above the first one or second situation will occur? This is what the situation will be forced here. 0.5 volt, no, that 0.5 volt is what it will be forced because there's a zero potential, there's a equipotential point. This one, the potential difference, what is there, that will be forced across this also. Okay, this will be more troublesome. So it's nothing but the iron gate, no? Nothing wrong. It means, sir, like what happens if students think first this one? That's why you should analyze for all the cases, sir. You can't just end up this, or instead of this, if a student first does this, so can he write answer D1 off and D2 on? No, you should come back to this also. You have to analyze, compare. I doubt such questions can be asked or not, but anyway, this is based on logic or and on. So I'll conclude this one. This is what practically. Okay, so according to this, what is the conclusion? D1 is off, D2 is on. -0.5 volt. See, what you're telling here, minus 1.5 volt, 0.5 volt. So first the 0.5 volt, which is there, no, that will be forced here. Potential drop across, if you take this one, 0.5 volt will come. Here, if you take it, 0.5 volt will come. But here, how much we have potential difference? 2.5 volts. These two are like a, it is not earthed, huh? It is not earthed. So it can have only one potential, that one. In fact, what happened, the 0.5 volt, the potential difference will be forced to this. This condition is what will prevail in the circuit. That's what I mean to say. Sir, how do I come to know? That's what the comparisons is what you have to do. See, it's logical thinking better rather than fighting with any concept here. If you say this is 2.5 volt, what is the potential difference will come? What is the potential difference? Because of 0.5, it is got forward biased. Then what will happen to this one here? 2.5, this should be reverse biased. No, this condition is what will be forced by the circuit. Because this is 0.5, it will also occur here as 0.5. 0.5, as this is possible, no? Okay, similarly, try this one, possibility of asking the same similar way what you have to try this one. Okay, let me go for the Zener diode. Already yesterday I explained the concept. Only circuit brief introduction I'll give, then we'll go for the transistor one. Because the transistor is what hardly we discussed any numericals. Zener diode, I think some around 8 numericals is what I discussed, if you can remember. Okay, there's an unregulated voltage. That is what occurred. Vs. And there's a load. So this will be plus minus, plus minus. So this current will be called as Is, this Iz, this IL. Okay, what is our requirement? My requirement is such that I should get a constant potential drop across the load. So this is called like a load. The current through the load must be constant and the potential drop across the load constant. For that, what will happen? Who will do that? This particular Zener diode. And these are unregulated. So better call this as unregulated input voltage. And what is that Vs? Vs will have fluctuation. It will never be constant. It will have fluctuation. Okay, how do this overall? So it's about KCL and KVL, nothing big. So this will be Is is equal to Iz plus IL. Then what we write? Vs is equal to, writing KVL, plus Vs minus Is Rs. V in, I'll write it. That will be better, no? V in minus Is Rs minus Vz equal to 0. Now, what is the conclusion part of this? So V in what will happen will do fluctuate. V in will have my plus or minus delta V. Practically, what is this? Fluctuations. So this V in what will happen will fluctuate. Why do this delta V? This is practically that will occur. So if you look at the AC voltage, no 240 volt either, it will never remain 240. It will become 250, 255, it will become 235. Like this what happen, there'll be plus or minus 20 or plus or minus 30 volt fluctuations will be there in the line voltage, that one. So now what will happen? And what is this a load? What is the requirement for the load? Across the load, the IL and VL must be constant. Across the load, the IL and VL must be constant. Across the load, the IL and VL must be constant. Getting this idea, no? So this is the across the load, the IL and VL will remain constant. There's a one practical requirement. What is there, sir? I'll remove Zener diode. Okay, you remove Zener diode. What is the problem will arise? Just let me begin this discussion without that Zener diode so that you'll understand what is the problem what we face. Okay, now you see this one. Now, as the load voltage increases, so you write loop equation. I think this is the best thing what you can start thinking from here. So how you write V in? In fact, you write IL only, the same current flows, no? VL is equal to know what is like a by chance by so like a V in will be fluctuating. So this is like I said 40 volt is there. It has become 45 volt. What do you expect VL? VL will change. If VL increases, then definitely what will happen? RL is constant. IL also will increase. So like that, what will happen? The power across the load will be fluctuating. The power across the load will be fluctuating. So VL, it will become these are unwanted. This let it be. This is the strictly it's unwanted one. This will this is unavoidable. You cannot avoid. This is unwanted. Got the idea? So to overcome this, so this is unavoidable, means it will change. There will be fluctuations. So that will lead to this one. And these are unwanted. It not unwanted since like it must not be there. Huh? So therefore, what shall I do now? So can we control this? Can we delta V in make zero? Not possible. So this is the problem what we face without Zener diode, without voltage regulator circuit, without voltage regulator. This is what happens for the circuit without voltage regulator. So what has to be done now? I'll bring voltage regulator. So what should be the features of that voltage regulator? So I'm just telling story. If you understand this, rest all everything is a numericals. Huh? Rest all everything is a numericals. So therefore, I will search for a device. As I do have a device, so that is what the Zener diode. So if you look at the slope, so this is the reverse voltage. There's a reverse current. You look at the slope here. Look at this particular part. Let me take first ideal one. This is a breakdown voltage. Look at this part. So in this region, what is this Zener diode? How do it will behave? Though current through the Zener diode increases, but the voltage will not fluctuate. There won't be change in voltage. Practically what happens, suppose say 9 volt is the Zener voltage. So though current varies from say like a 1 milliampere to 100 milliampere, the voltage what happen hardly it will fluctuate. Means from 9 volt it may become 9.1 or 9.05 volt, like that. Practically, theoretically what we say, though current increases, the voltage constant. I think this property is what I'm going to use. So where I'm going to use, this is the operating region. Definitely, if you take any diode, there is some upper limit, no? There's the upper limit, the current upper limit is there. So these are the and there is some minimum current for its operation. I think based on this, we brought a problem. This is the operating region. So the diode which I'm dinner that I'm going to connect now, so it should be operate in this region. I will just check what is the minimum current, what is the maximum current it can withstand. So what is the, how do I can tell? I'll go the power dissipation of the Zener diode. I know breakdown voltage. From that, I come to know what is the maximum current the Zener diode can withstand. If the current through Zener diode is greater than this, it will burn out. If the current is less than I minimum, it will not be in this region, operating region. It will come somewhere here. This is of no use for us. In this region, it should be operated. We'll call this as operating region. Okay, got this one. So like this, what happen? I'll introduce the Zener diode. So what is use of Zener diode now? So what Zener diode does is like, if the voltage fluctuates, okay, if the voltage fluctuates here, then definitely what will happen? This IS will increase. Means like here voltage fluctuates, what will happen? Like, you know, if voltage fluctuates, the VZ will not remain constant. VZ will remain constant, no? So if voltage, input voltage increases, then IS will increase. RS is a constant. And VZ will remain constant. Don't say VZ will change. Why it will VZ will change? VZ will not change. If IS increases, IZ will increase, keeping IL constant. So what are the variable things here? So if you put arrow, if IS increases, IZ will increase, keeping IL constant. If V in increases, I need one more. I'll write it here. No. Now if V in increases, IS will increase. Again, VZ will be constant. And what is this device? Though IZ increases, VZ will not change. So what we are ensuring, and VZ is equal to VL in fact. VZ is in fact equal to VL. So further we'll write one more step. It'll be easy for you. So therefore, what is VL equal to? V in minus IS RS. Okay, look at now here. If V in increases, IS will increase, keeping VZ constant, or so VL constant. And also here, if IS increases, IZ will increase, keeping IL constant. So this VL and IL are maintained constant. And that is what needed. Who will do that? The Zener diode. This is a core idea. Rest all everything applying KCL, KVL. Okay, getting this one. So now we'll take one or two problems so that you'll get that flow. You'll understand. So this is the basic idea. So you have to write strictly remains constant. So who is a voltage regulator? The Zener diode is a voltage or line regulator as well as voltage regulator, that one. So what's any name can we give? Zener diode. as voltage regulator. Mobile data. Mobile data. Okay, fine. Okay, now we'll take one set of problems. We have VZ, this is equal to 10 volt. This one. What is the value of RS that is needed to be connected in the circuit. Then afterwards, we'll fluctuate this voltage by plus 5 and minus 5. Then we'll see what will be the current through the load and what conditions will arise. So we should calculate the value of RS, that one. Then what is the load given? RL equal to 100 ohm. So I'll begin with the discussion. So what is the question? Find the value of RS. Find the value of RS, first one. Second one, if the line voltage fluctuates by plus or minus 5 volt, find the current through the Zener diode and find the current through the Zener diode and load, and also PD across the load. The first part. Okay, we'll do the first part. Okay, what is the first part? First part, it will say like a 35 minus ISRS. Okay, we don't know. So now we'll begin like this. This is IS, this is IZ, this is IL. Do we know IL? Yes, the VZ and the Zener diode and the load, they are parallel, no? So what is the drop across the load? VL must be equal to VZ. So from that, what is IL? IL equal to VL by RL. VL is how much? 10 by 100. 0.1 ampere is what? IL. Then we'll calculate IS. So 35 minus, this is a VE, no? Unregulated input voltage. So 35 minus ISRS minus VZ equals 0. So what is value of like IS and RS both are unknown?
So conditions are not enough, no sir.
Okay, I'll do one thing. So some data is missing. I'll check once. Oh, this one. I'll give some value. This one. Yeah. Current to the Zener diode is 0.2 ampere. This is what needed. 0.2 ampere. some data was missing. I'll just add it up. I didn't check it. This will be how that current to the Zener diode is what available is given for us. RS 250 by 3 ohm. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll do one thing. IS equal to IZ plus IL. From that, what happen? I'll get the IS. The value of IS I'll substitute. So then here RS will be these are very popular. Huh? So just you have to apply KCL, KVL, nothing to do. Sir, I don't know the OL. I don't know that free electron. I don't know that reverse bias. Why you need all this to solve this problem? Only the Zener diode is reverse biased. The drop across that remains constant, though current increases. That's what the idea, no? Now, this is very important. If I make 40 volt, then what will happen to the drop across the find the current to the Zener diode, and also is asking what will happen to the drop across this particular thing. And the value of RS is given. Let's see the first part of the problem. Second part, first case will take it. 35 plus 5. Is it that 250 by 3? If it is correct, then I'll proceed. The VZ, how much VZ will be? 10 volt only. It will not change. Then what about the RL? RL, we know it. RL is 100 ohm. Then how much VL? VL will be equal to VZ equal to 10 volt. And the current to it will be fixed. IS1, we'll call this as IZ1.
IZ 0.26 ampere.
IZ, huh?
Yes, sir.
0.2 plus or minus 6.
For this case, it is point.
No, yeah, let it be. 0.26 will write it. IS1.
0.36.
0.36. Okay, there's a thing. So next circuit. Because I had to write a nearby it 35 minus 5. In fact,
Sir,
it's the flag.
this is for 35 minus 5, sir. Sorry.
What you are given answer. Huh?
Yes, sir.
I'll make it. What is the drop voltage? The line voltage will be this, and this will be equal to 10 volt on. These
The
things
first
will
one
not.
is only 35 plus 5, sir.
Oh.
Voltage will increase, IS1 will increase now, sir.
Okay. Let everyone conclude. Let's wait. Highest should increase. Huh? So are they
Sir,
0.2? Yeah. Shall we just subtract that 0.06?
sir.
0.2, 0.0, 0.14. Huh?
Sir.
For 0.24. No, no, no. IS3, how much? I am not. Anybody value IS2?
2.24.
No, this is the overall, see, like the working instead of telling story, no, I'm just picked up a situation where it will tell clearly. Even this fluctuates, what happens, the drop across the load remains constant. And look at the Zener diode, though current through it is increasing, you can see that one. The current through it, though it increases or decreases, the drop across Zener diode remains constant. That's why it is used as a voltage regulator. It will also see that the current through the load remains constant, not only the drop, because they're connected parallel. So what are the types of questions? The load should be connected parallel to the Zener diode. The load should be connected in series with the Zener diode. Tell me what you should do. To regulate the voltage across the load should be connected in parallel to the Zener diode. The load should be connected in series with the Zener diode. These are the some questions which he will really test you. What you should say. If you connect parallel, okay, fine, no. Then only voltage regulation will occur. If you connect in series, not possible, no, voltage regulation will not take place. Am I right? For voltage regulation, the load must be connected parallel to the Zener. See what will happen if you connect it in series. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
No, because I came to college, no internet and mobile data I'm using. Tomorrow they may provide. Yeah. No, no. Is it possible? You check it now. If this fluctuates, if this fluctuates, that definitely okay. VZ let it be constant, no problem. I don't have any objection. VZ will remain constant. If this fluctuates, so let's write expression for current. V in minus VZ minus VL. Oh, I'll write one loop equation. It will be much easier. V in minus I into RS minus VZ I into RL equals 0. So what is I equal to? V in minus VZ by RS plus RL. Check it now. If this fluctuates, VZ is a constant, RS are a constant. I will increase. If I increases, RL constant. So VL is equal to what? If V increases, I will increase. If I increases, VL will increase. Both the current as well as the drop across the load will change if you connect. So what is the role? What is the problem? Is the problem with the Zener diode? No. You are not connected the load parallel to Zener diode. No, Zener diode, what's happened? Across it, there's no problem. VZ will remain constant. As V in varies, there's no problem with the ZZ. So there's nothing problem. The Zener diode, as usual, it is working. It is a reverse bias, so everything is fine. The problem is only with this one, no? Oh, this is. I'll change symbol. This should be the correct one, huh? Check it now. It should be reverse bias, no? Okay, no voltage regulation or no current regulation. Got the idea, no? Any doubts you have, you can clarify till date what all till now what all we discussed. let me just today I think another 20 minutes there. Transistor will have a small discussion, then I'll proceed. Then we'll wind up the class. Huh? So what actually happens? Transistor, it's a I think, shall I directly go for input and output characteristics? Because I think the configuration, everything, you know, it should be, base should be lightly doped and thin in size, collector heavily doped, moderate in size, emitter heavily doped and moderate in size. I think these are some basic things, you know. So only I'll directly go for the input and output characteristics. C configuration. Okay, now there's a transistor. Okay, to measure this base current, I'll bring microammeter. To measure this collector current, I'll bring 1 milliammeter. And to measure this base collector emitter voltage, I will connect 1 voltmeter. And here 1 voltmeter. So this is a collector base emitter. So what is this transistor? It is called as NPN transistor. I think these are the symbols you might have come across. So this battery voltage will call VBB. This is VCC. This resistor RC, and this I'll call RB. Now, what are the input terminals? So there it's a 3-terminal device. The base and emitter is called as the input terminal. So what are the input terminals? What are output terminals? Collector and emitter. And which terminal is common for both base input and output? Is the emitter. So therefore it is called as a common emitter configuration. What is the name of this circuit will be? Common emitter configuration. Okay, fine. Huh? There's a one condition now. So what we are wanted to study, how that input characteristics. So what do you mean by input characteristics? Means how that input voltage, how that input voltage and input current are rated. What are the input voltage? So let's go for the direction of current. The arrow here, look at this arrow. The arrow will indicate the direction of current. So this will be the emitter current. Then the other current should enter. So this will be IB. This will be IC. So again, what is your entire transistor applying KCL, KVL? What all I discussed may not help you in numericals. Input output characteristics is only theoretical information. Straight away, and amplifier is also theoretical information. Numericals are based on KCL, KVL. See, the methodology, please try to understand. Maximum students are, I don't know transistor. Okay, very good, well and good. In numericals, you don't need to understand the working of a transistor. Okay, this one. So input characteristics. So let me plot the graph. What are the input terminals? The input terminals are so here let me plot IB microampere. This is VB in volts. So then for a given value of VC. So how do I can adjust VC? By varying this particular thing. In books, what happens, they're given as a rheostat. Instead of rheostat, directly now we have voltage variable power supplies. Earlier, the diagrams which are there, no, they're almost around 70 years old diagrams. Now in the lab, no, we don't use rheostat. We use this variable directly by wearing this knob. I can control this VC by wearing this controlling the knob here. I can control this particular voltage, VB and VC. Got it? No. So now, first open, I'll adjust the VCC. First of all, common emitter. Sir, why you are connecting cells like this? See, I want to use this transistor for what? Like as an amplifier. Then it should be operated in active region. What do you mean by active region? Base emitter junction forward bias, collector base junction should be reverse bias. There are two junctions are there. This should be forward bias. Collector base junction should be reverse biased. Sir, how come? Okay, sir, base emitter forward bias will agree because positive terminal connected to P type, negative terminal connected to N type. So, okay, this is the forward bias. There's no problem with this cell. Look at this other cell, the positive terminal connected to N type and negative terminal connected to emitter, not across collector base. How come, sir? How come this cell will reverse bias it? See, again, go back to the diode. Yesterday we discussed, no, some. This is a N type, P type. This is the collector. This is a base. The base potential, if the collector is more positive than base, will it be reverse biased? Because this will be of order, like it will be 0 to 30 volt. This will be 0 to 5 volt. So here if we say some around 1.5 volt, this is say around some 4 volt. Is it this diode will be forward biased or reverse biased? Will be reverse biased, no? Because N is more positive than P. N is more positive than P. The similar condition is what arises here. By adjusting this voltage such that the transistor should be in active region. For active region, the base emitter is forward bias. We will see the base emitter forward bias this particular cell. That's why the positive terminal, this is connected to base P type. Negative terminal connected to emitter N type. This cell will see this will be forward bias. These two cells will see that collective base junction will be reverse biased. Getting the idea? Carefully, logical thinking, no concept, nothing. If N is more positive than P, it is said to be reverse biased. That's what happens here. So practically, what is the requirement? VCC must be greater than. They may trouble you questions like this. They'll give this circuit diagram. For the transistor to be in active region, VBE. I think that this is what needed, no? There's everything I'll summarize for transistor. For the transistor to be in active region. So all these are the basic conditions. They may trouble you in exams of data like this. You have to be very careful. Please do understand the methodology here. It will be very easy for you. Okay, fine. Till here, no problem. Okay, let's come for the input characteristics. For I'll adjust the value of VC, VCC such that VC equal to 5 volt. Then I'll plot the curve. First, I'll get a curve like this. Then try to see this. Sir, as you increase this VC, why the curve will deflect like this? Why this deflection of the curve is there? The only reason for that is look at the base emitter, the configuration of how they will be doped. This is emitter, this is a base, this is a collector. Now, I think some penetration of depletion layer, if you can remember, which is lightly doped, The base is lightly doped, no? So the depletion layer will penetrate more into the base than the collector. Similarly here, and anyway, this is a forward bias junction. I need not to show that one. Okay, what is that red color? The depletion layer. Base emitter junction is forward bias. I need not to bother. The collector base junction is reverse bias. Will I agree? So as I increase reverse bias, we know width of depletion layer increases. Can you recollect? Are you able to recollect yesterday's discussion? As we increase reverse bias, the width of depletion increases. Then how depletion layer and doping levels are inversely proportional. So base is lightly doped than collector. Collector is moderately doped. So the depletion will penetrate more into the base than into the collector. That's why I'm showing this. The width of depletion layer is more in the base region than in the collector. Then what is the effective length of the base will decrease, no? Then if the effective length of base decreases, then the recombination of, or select here, the amount of recombination will decrease, IB will decrease. If IB decreases, this is what happens. So as I increase VCE, so what will happen to this one? The IB will decrease here. You better go for vertical line. For a given value, so like for a given value of VB you make it fixed here. Like this, you take a line. So let me proceed with the line. Let me start like this. Huh? For a given value of VB, if I increase VCE, the depletion will penetrate more into the base than collector. The effective length of the base will decrease. Then the number of recombinations here, so the capture of electrons, or so the number of recombinations will decrease. Then the base current will decrease. Base current decreases means it should take lower value. Earlier for VC 5 volt, for a certain value of VB 0.5, this was the current. Now as I increase VC, the base current will decrease. Okay, got this idea now? The meaning of this particular graph. Or to have same base current, what you should do, you should increase this VB. You can interpret in either way. This is the actual correct interpretation. What is the reason for that? You have to give this particular condition. Okay, I'll remove this curve, not needed. Okay, then we'll take the slope. If I draw a tangent here, then the slope of the tangent will give delta IB, delta VB. So what do that slope? Inverse of that slope will give the forward resistance or the input resistance of a transistor. At a certain value, at a fixed value of VC. So in the books open, they have put slash this one like this VC. Again, it's not a divided, means for specific value of VC. You'll get confused, I'll remove it. So this will be the forward resistance, or what you can call input resistance of a transistor. Resistance offered by base emitter terminal for the signal is given by this one. So in the books, they called the symbol used R in. This is the only reason. So what is the possibility in NCERT? The curve is there, but no explanation. But in exam, they may trouble you. Or they may ask you this VC1, V1, V2, let's say V2 greater than V1, like that symbolic. At least as you increase VC, what will happen to curve? Curve will shift away from y-axis. At least that information data you remember. Why it will shift? There's a reason. I think you like check the notes. Already I gave explanation. It's in a written form is available if you want to go through once. Okay, let's go for output characteristic. What is the output characteristic? The output terminals. Output terminals are collector and emitter. How VC and IC are related as you vary VB for different values of VB. That will check it. So the output characteristics. for different values of IB, 10 microampere, 20 microampere. So what we do is like, I'll adjust the value of VBB such that 10 microampere current is flowing here. Then I'll vary this VCC in such a way that we see 0.1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt, 4 volt, 5 volt, 6 volt. I'll measure the current. Therefore, the response is what we are plotting. So usually what is VC, not 0.1, it will be of order 2, 4, 10, up to 20, you can go for it. Up to 20, because the usually breakdown voltages will be around 25 to 30 for ordinary diode. So usually it is adjusted like 12, you can go up to 18 like that. And these are the currents, like it will be say like a 5 milliampere or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 7, take it 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 milliampere. What is why the curve like this? There are two regions are there, three regions are there. This particular region, then we have not somewhere like exactly not, so some approximately we'll define this region, and this is what called as operating region or active region is what we say. So will it be circle? No, I'm just putting some of this one. So this region is called as a this is active region. This is called as a cutoff. Saturation. If you want to use transistor as a on and off switch, you should operate in this region. If you want to use transistor as an amplifier, you should use in an active region. There's the major application of this one. So for transistor, as a switch must be operated in between saturation and cutoff. Must be operated in I'll write it. Between means again you think of active region. Transistor. Even this data what I'm writing are very important. They may ask you some small ideas like this also. As an amplifier, must operated in active region. See, you are going to decide what you are going to do with the transistor. No, sir, I want to use it as the amplifier. So operate in this region. You want to operate it as an on-off switch, operate in this region. There's a thing. Transistor will not decide where it will work out. You are going to decide where it should be operated. Okay, now why the curve like this? Huh? So this expression is beyond our syllabus. No, that's why I'm putting. So as IB increases, IC should increase. So what is the reason for that? We have beta delta IC by delta IB. For that, what you do, you pick up these two curves. You have delta IB, and correspondingly locate delta IC. The ratio of that, what happened will be beta. This is called like a current amplification factor in CE configuration. Current amplification and usually the value what happen will vary from 30 to 500 usually when we design a transistor. Greater the value of beta, the transistor is said to be very good. So how to calculate that one? So you have to draw an horizontal lines. like this, parallel lines corresponding to IB 30 microampere, 20 microampere. So what is the value of delta IB? Will be 10 microampere. Correspondingly, locate delta IC. The ratio of that delta IC by delta will become beta. Then if you take a slope, if you draw a slope, delta IC, delta VC, output resistance is given by reciprocal of slope, or delta VCE by delta IC. This we usually will call RO. Where do this resistance? The resistance that will be measured across collector and emitter terminals. What is the resistance offered by this? It will have some value. That is what we are saying that as RO. But sir, like you mean to say this resistance as you connect one ohm meter, measure, connect across collector and emitter in this circuit. It will read some value, and that is what we are calculating. It will be very high, will be of order mega ohm, or of order 100 kilo ohms. The input resistance. So what about, sir, what about the range? This input resistance, this will be of order 20 ohms. I'll write it of order 10 ohm, 20 ohm. Okay, this is about the transistor characteristics. You don't don't fight with survive the curve. It's beyond the reach of our syllabus. No, I need more time. I would have explained. I do like to explain, but we need exactly minimum, at least at the most. I need some 4 to 5 hours. So what is actually the curve? The curves are actually not only this. Actually, these are the curves. So you may get confused. That's why I'm trying to avoid. The curves are breakdown will occur, no? Because it's a reverse bias diode. So the current, what happened, will increase. Then at particular value, what happened, breakdown will occur, the transistor will burn out. These are actually the curves. Are you getting now? So here the current will increase, then what happened? Gradually it increases. Then at particular reverse voltage, what happened? The breakdown will occur. The collector base junction will be reversed by at one specific value. Breakdown will occur and a large current will flow. Here the transistor will get damaged here. Due to breakdown of reverse biased it's there in lab manual, but not there in textbooks. Very strange, peculiar. In textbooks, we'll try to avoid, because we should not say, I should not the moment you bring here, that transistor will get damaged over here to put in dustbin. That's why in theoretical they try to avoid, but in lab manual it's there, and you should not operate in transistor in this region. That's why we do have some upper limit that depends upon this particular value of a transistor. What is the upper limit for VC? That depends upon the transistor. Got the idea, no? So they can be even for, as you increase the value of IB, the breakdown voltage output will take the lower values. That's what the curves it says. The gap will not be this much. To have clarity, I shown it'll be somewhere here like this only. Small difference of around 1 to 2 volt will be there between these curves. So possibility of asking the curve. In fact, this is actually the curve. Here what happened, we don't show that breakdown. Here it will come like this. Got the idea? Okay, I have offline class in college. Okay, we'll stop it here. Huh? I'll check the chat. Yeah. Characteristics of Zenodite. I plotted no VI graph. That one only. The VI graph. I explained that graph only. No characteristics of Zenodite. That only was explained. Using that one, I explained the concept of Zenodite. Huh? Check it once. Okay, we'll end up the class. Yeah.